awe-inspiring aquatic plants, the backbone of an underwater Jurassic Park. Have you ever wondered what it must feel like to swim through a kelp forest or seagrass meadow, or a freshwater forest of plants and grasses, almost expecting an underwater dinosaur to swim out at you from behind the long fronds or long grasses? What would you find in this underwater Jurassic Park? Aquatic and underwater plants are fascinating, so similar yet so vastly different to those plants on land, and so beautifully adapted to the environment. So let's take a look at some of these incredible plants and what makes them so special. Aquatic plants, also referred to as hydrophytes, are vascular plants or non-vascular plants that have adapted to live in aquatic environments, either saltwater or freshwater. Vascular plants are those that have specialized tissues to transport water and nutrients throughout the plant. Non-vascular plants, such as algae, do not have these tissues. Familiar examples of aquatic plants include water lilies, lotus, duckweed, water soldiers, and water hyacinth, Acornia chrysapes in freshwater, and seagrasses and algae or seaweed in saltwater. Some aquatic plants, such as pickerel weed, Pontederia cordata, are emergent plants, meaning that they grow underwater in flooded conditions. The plant bears flowers in late summer once the flooding has subsided a bit, and their leaf tips and flowers are above the water. Once the plant begins to produce seed, the flower stalk bends to submerge the fruit and seeds for dispersal. Bladderworts are freshwater carnivorous plants of the genus Utricularia. Although they also photosynthesize, they are known for their unique, fast-acting traps that are used to catch small prey like insects and zooplankton. Bladderworts lack roots and usually have a horizontal floating stem bearing simple or divided leaves. Their bladders are sophisticated suction traps that function by creating a vacuum, sucking in small organisms when trigger hairs on the bladder are disturbed. The door closes super quickly in about 1/35 of a second. Once the animal is digested, within about 15 to 30 minutes, the trap is set again by passing water to the outside. Seagrasses are true plants with roots, stems and leaves, while algae, though often called sea plants, are protists without true roots. They have holdfasts to anchor them instead. Protists are a group of diverse organisms that are not plants, animals or fungi. They are mainly single-celled and microscopic, though some can form visible colonies or multicellular structures. Kelp, such as bull kelp, Durvillea potatorum, is a seaweed or multicellular algae. It has a holdfast holding it onto the rocks. A long stem, called a stipe, has broad blades similar to leaves on a plant. These blades photosynthesize and suck up nutrients from the water. Seagrasses are the only flowering plants that are found completely submerged in seawater. Pollination occurs underwater entirely, either by sea currents or via marine animals such as small crabs. Reproduction can also be via underground rhizomes, where clones of the parent plant are formed. Seagrass meadows can develop from a single plant in less than a year. In slow-growing species like Posidonia, it can take hundreds of years. In fact, the oldest known plant is a clone of the Mediterranean seagrass, Posidonia oceanica, which is around 200,000 years old, dating back to the ice ages of the late Pleistocene. There are 72 species of seagrass which display an enormous variety in leaf shapes. Seagrasses range from species with long, flat blades that look like ribbons, to fern or paddle-shaped leaves, cylindrical or spaghetti blades, or branching shoots. The tallest seagrass species, Zostera coalescens, is found growing to 7 meters or 35 feet in Japan. So how are these underwater plants uniquely adapted to a watery life? Well, firstly, many aquatic plants are buoyant. They have air-filled tissues called parenchyma, which allow them to float and access sunlight for photosynthesis. Secondly, unlike bland plants, aquatic plants often have no need for stomata, which are the leaf pores for gases exchange. Their leaves have a thin cuticle or no cuticle at all, allowing them to absorb nutrients and dissolve gases like carbon dioxide directly from the surrounding water. Some floating aquatic plants, such as water lilies, have their stomata on the upper side of their leaves instead. These stomata are often permanently open, as there's no danger of drying out in such a watery environment. Thirdly, the stems and leaves are flexible to withstand the force of water currents, preventing damage. Plants living fully in water do not need to be able to stand up on their own. But those living in water and strong ocean currents do need sufficient structural stiffness to avoid being damaged by fast-flowing water. They also need strong mechanisms of attachment to avoid being washed away. Fourthly, specialized root systems are often smaller and lighter, adapted to anchor them in soft sediments or absorb nutrients from the water. Interestingly, some still water plants can change their position in the water column in different seasons. An example of this is the water soldier, Stratiotes aloides. It rests as a rootless rosette of leaves on the bottom of the water body. In late spring, it floats to the surface so that its inflorescence or flower can emerge into the air. While rising up through the water column, it produces roots and vegetative daughter plants via rhizomes. When flowering is finished, the plant sinks again and the roots atrophy. So what role do these underwater plants play? Well, a really big one, first of all. Without these underwater plants, underwater ecosystems simply wouldn't exist. Aquatic plants are the primary producers in aquatic ecosystems, converting sunlight into biomass via photosynthesis that supports the entire food web. These plants also offer vital shelter, spawning grounds, nurseries, and foraging areas for a wide variety of fish, shellfish, and other creatures. Just as an example, the leafy underwater canopy created by seagrasses provides shelter for small invertebrates like crabs and shrimp and other types of crustaceans, small fish, and juveniles of larger fish species. Many species of algae and microalgae, such as diatoms, bacteria and invertebrates, grow and live on seagrass leaves, much like lichens and Spanish moss grow on trees. Other invertebrates grow nestled between the blades or in the sediments, such as sponges, clams, and sea anemones. The accumulation of smaller organisms amongst the seagrass blades, as well as the seagrass itself, attracts bigger animals. As a result, seagrasses can be home to many types of fish, sharks, turtles, marine mammals such as dugongs and manatees, mollusks such as octopus, squid, cuttlefish and snails, sponges, crustaceans such as shrimps and crabs, sea urchins and sea anemones. A single acre of seagrass can support upwards of 40,000 fish and 50 million small invertebrates. And a large adult dugong can eat up to 40 kilograms or 88 pounds of seagrass a day, while an adult green sea turtle can eat up to 2 kilograms or 4.5 pounds per day. That's a lot of seagrass. So the seagrass beds are crucial to the ongoing health and stability of so many animal species. Even dead seagrass leaves play an important role in coastal ecosystems. When the leaves die, they decay on the sediment or are washed onto the beach, supporting a diverse community of decomposers. Some of these living and dead seagrass blades are also washed to other areas of the ocean, feeding organisms as far as the deep sea trenches. Aquatic plants are also vital in maintaining good water quality. They act as natural filters, absorbing excess nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus that can cause harmful algae blooms. Their roots also trap and stabilize the sediment, which not only helps improve water clarity and quality, but also reduces erosion and buffers coastlines and riverbanks against storms. Seagrass and other underwater plant leaves also slow the movement of water, making it less easy for water to pick up sediment or scour the sea or riverbed. Sediment settles out from the water column in slower speeds too. This stabilization of the seabed is critical in protecting coastal shorelines in many areas. Along with mangroves and coral or artificial reefs, they can play a vital role in protecting seaside communities. Coastal engineers now regard them as essential tools in their nature-based arsenal in fighting coastal erosion. As an interesting side note, mangroves, coral reefs and seagrass meadows support one another. Mangroves trap sediment from the land, reducing the chance that seagrasses and reefs get smothered. Sediment banks accumulated by seagrass provide possible substrates that can be colonized by mangroves. And sediment trapped by mangroves and seagrasses benefit the coral reefs, which are damaged and shaded by sediment loads. And of course, the leaves of aquatic plants release oxygen into the water created during photosynthesis. Seagrasses are known as the lungs of the sea because 1 square meter of seagrass can generate 10 liters of oxygen every day through photosynthesis. And as far as capturing carbon goes, while seagrasses occupy only 0.1% of the total ocean floor, they are estimated to be responsible for up to 11% of the organic carbon buried in the ocean. So how awesome are aquatic plants? And the amazing ecosystems and animals they support? Well, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what your favorite aquatic plant is. And if you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe. Also, if you enjoy underwater life, check out this video on animals with chlorophyll. I'll leave a link up here and down in the description below. Until next time, enjoy.